All right. Hello, everybody. This is Tom Randolph. I want to welcome you to this webinar today. It's 2 o'clock. I know your time's valuable. Thanks for jumping on today with me. They're keeping me busy here. I've got a little bit of a cold, and I'm probably going to have to take several drinks because I think this is I had a long conference call this morning that I had to speak at, and then I've had 3 webinars today. So I've done a lot of speaking. Hopefully I won't be coughing at you, but I'm going to do my best. And I do want to let you know, it would be a little bit of housekeeping before I get rolling deep into this today. It's my pleasure to talk about the OmniFlex and the Cigna Choice short-term care plans and kind of give you a little bit of a side-by-side today. And before I do that, I want to let you know, make sure if you're not already appointed, jump on board with us. GoldenCareAgent.com is our agent website. Our phone number is in the upper right, 800-842-7799. I won't do a lot of pitching a dog and pony on my different sales tools we had, but I will tell you this, I have the pleasure of working with one of the best support teams and overall administration teams here at GoldenCare that you can imagine. So we've got a lot of longevity, a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and a lot of expertise to help you be successful out in the field. So please contact us. Let one of our team members know if you have any questions, and we'll help you. Because what we're doing is so valuable out there. It's one of those things that I can't stress enough without having you look at my ugly mug too long. I've been doing this. I'm in my 28th year here at GoldenCare, and it's just been a pleasure to go out and help agents like you help people because it's so important. And for those of you who've been on other webinars of mine, you know I beat you to death with this slide, but I can't stress enough. I'm passionate about what I do, and there's so many Americans out there who are going to be in trouble as this year 2030, this doomsday year we all talk about. It's kind of the perfect storm. We've got all those baby boomers hitting claim age in the year 2031 where they're hitting 85, and all of a sudden we're going to start realizing in a big hurry just how underprepared we are with Medicare and Medicaid and some of these things that just aren't going to be able to do a great job of helping people unless they help themselves. So I'm passionate about what I do for that reason. We know that most people out there, especially with short-term care plans, they're going to be using this plan 70% of the time once they get over 65 plus. These type of plans will end up helping with benefits. So most people out there year round haven't had a conversation. We know COVID just exacerbated the problem with people just not wanting to go into a nursing home. So we want to make sure we sell solid home health care and help people with that protection side of it. So for a lot of you on this call, you may have been on my other calls, so I'm going to make this really brief. You will get these slides, so don't worry about taking copious notes by any stretch. But if you know who we are at GoldenCare, we're the long-term care carrier, right? I mean, we've been the agency out there that's kind of been a leader in the long-term care market for years and years. We're in our 50th year now, celebrating our 50th anniversary, and I've been proud to be here for more than half that time. And over the years, with our sister company, et cetera, and all of our agencies, we've written over $1 billion in long-term care. And we know how important it is. We helped design the Mutual of Omaha plan, which is the #1 seller out there in the individual market. So we know long-term care is important, but unfortunately, what we've seen in the past years is we've seen this shift where long-term care is a great option for some people if they're young and they can afford it and they're healthy enough. But unfortunately, we get out in front of live groups and we find out that almost half the people we're talking to, we may not be able to get a traditional long-term care or hybrid plan. So what we're trying to do is that overall paradigm shift. We're trying to say, let's use our arsenal of products. Let's help you as agents have more arrows in your quiver. And let's go out and try to do a big deal with helping as many people as possible. And that pie chart you see on the screen is really, really logical and very attainable because of the fact that we have literally underwriting questions that go all the way down to, are you getting care right now? Or are you in a facility and you can get a home health care only plan or a true freedom type plan? We have that Chubb plan down there, a life plan with long-term care chassis on it. And then literally it asks the question, are you working 30 hours a week? And we can get you a guaranteed issue plan practically. So really some good things there. We can't get too deep into the different product stuff today, but I will tell you this, again, as just part of an intro. And I will go through this quick. It's mainly for you guys, for your future reference when we give you the handout. But short-term care, we're really seeing a shift, and we're really putting a lot of our eggs in a basket of saying these other products make it possible for us to throw our net so much wider and help so many more people that we really feel like these extended care and short-term care plans that we have now are going to really help save this industry as people come into this year and this perfect storm of having so many people turning their heads going, wow, what do I do to prepare to help my mom or my dad or myself get some protection? So all this is showing is that long-term care is a great product that had a great spot, but it had a limited stretch and a limited reach, and it had some problems with catastrophic claims. So short-term care, way easier, no special certifications. You don't have to go to med school or look at a 45-page underwriting guide. These plans are super easy. And as an agent, making it easier for you to go out and help people can make it easier for people to get that help they need, right? So short-term care plans, again, the worst thing about the whole thing, the worst thing about the short-term care products out in the industry are their name. One of the things we really stress is we use the word extended care a lot, because if I asked 100 Americans who are 65 years and older, what is a short-term care plan? And you'd be surprised at how large of the percentage are who will tell you, oh, is that a plan that pays for 5 or 10 days when you get out of a hospital? A lot of people don't realize you can write really robust plans. I can write $1 million policy we talk about with OmniFlex, one of the short-term care offerings that we have. So you can offer super powerful plans, or very flexible. You can scale them down to offer very small plans. Any way you slice it, because of the fact that we're getting a better reach in there, we're throwing the underwriting net so much wider. I can't stress enough that short-term care, it's that time, folks. It deserves a place at the big boys table. I have this slide in most of my presentations to remind you, don't kid yourself. You're not selling a Plan B product. This is a product that's right up there, and you're going to see it start butt checking long-term care and those hybrid plans a little bit as time goes on, because people are going to start realizing they're so flexible and can be so powerful that a lot of times they're going to be option number one for a lot of people you're talking to, even if they're healthy enough to have other options. So that's how much I strongly believe in it. So you can see our product availability. This is available on our website all the time, that you'll have access to all the different products and where they're available. Obviously, this is a moving picture. We do have GTL out in 37, Aetna's in 34, Wellaby's a newer product in 24. OmniFlex, that we're going to talk a little bit more about today, is in 35. Proud to say that Pennsylvania got the nod from the state level, so they're finalizing some things, and that might be available as little as a month or maybe a month and a half, because we've got to make sure we get everything, all the ducks in place, and it has a little bit of a twist on the product. So that'll be available as soon as it is. We'll let you know. So good to know Pennsylvania has a product for OmniFlex as well, very soon. Don't call my staff every day and say, is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? Because I promise you, they're going to say, we'll let you know as soon as it is. Is that a deal? So let's look closer today at OmniFlex. Cigna is a great opportunity for you in the short-term care market. OmniFlex are a Manhattan product that we helped design, and it's been just going like hotcakes, and we're selling up a storm, and we're really proud of that. But we do want to show side by side some of these different products out there. You know, we've done one of these on Aetna and GTL and stuff. So we just want to let you know, Cigna is a great option for you in short-term care as well. Right now, the Cigna Choice state availability, it's a relatively new product, as you probably know. They had a 2-tiered release, and they starting back in April, and now we have 17 states that are available, and you can see there on the screen. Don't worry too much about which one was wave 1 and wave 2, because I tried to do some graphics to make it stand out more, and I screwed it up a little bit. So, but basically you can see the states that are available. It doesn't really matter when they were available, but they're available now. And there will be more states to come, of course. We'll let you know as soon as those are available as well. Okay. So as we move in here, underwriting, we haven't put this yet into our InstaPivot tool. A lot of you on this call are probably familiar with our InstaPivot underwriting tool. We're in the process of putting Cigna in there. We have a lot of our different products on there. I think there's 8 or 9 products already, and we're having Cigna on there as well, because it's a big enough player that we think it's worth having it on the InstaPivot. And again, right now my guess is, and I'll show you the app today and show you some of the underwriting as we go into this, but we're guessing it's going to be familiar probably down here with Aetna and GTL, and that's not a bad thing. It's just where it's at. The lower the number, it's a little bit tougher. Hundreds of times easier than getting long-term care, so don't kid yourself. But we would guess right now, if I had to make an educated guess, it's not going to be as easy to get as OmniFlex. It's not going to have the underwriting net thrown that wide, but it may be sitting in here in the 8 to 12 range. once we get it all sorted out. So we'll let you know as soon as that's available. You'll see it pop up on your InstaPivot, and it shouldn't take too long. We just have to get our programmers working on that, et cetera, and our researchers to get everything accurate. Okay. So I'm not going to spend any more time on that because I want to get into this deeper, but obviously one of the things with OmniFlex is we have two-tiered underwriting, so we throw the net a little bit wider. And again, the reason you guys are out there helping so many people is these home health care only plans are super easy to get. Literally 2 to 3 questions. Are you getting help right now with ADLs? Are you in a facility? If you're not, you can get a Manhattan Life home health care only plan, okay, or a True Freedom plan. GTL short-term just throws in a memory question or a health cognitive question, and then you can get a GTL home health care only plan. So super easy to get those home health care only plans. And even with the full short-term care facility and home care, you can see that we have options where it's really light underwriting as well. Is that a deal? I'm going to leave that for now, not go too deep into that part of it. Again, here's just a slide that you will get these slides. This is showing you from the application the underwriting questions for Cigna. I'm not going to bore you on this call by reading all this to you, but you'll be able to see this is kind of what they do. They're going to look back at the meds, of course, and otherwise you're just going to have these conditions. So not quite as easy as OmniFlex, but again, it's going to be relatively easy for a lot of your folks you're going to hit. Nowhere near what you used to go through in the long-term care. Does that make sense? So let's look at the benefits a little bit closer side by side. Again, for the third time, I'll remind you, you're going to get these slides so you don't have to take notes. And issue age is really nice with Cigna. They were really smart to go 18 to 89. That's going to open some doors for them if you get into the affinity and group markets. So I like the fact that they do have 18. OmniFlex, we may go there in the future because I think it might be the future to start having that all the way down so you can open it up for more worksite and group type things. But for now, it's 45. Again, the big difference between short-term care and long-term care, again, is that these products go up to higher ages. Both of these will go all the way up to age 89, okay? The nicest part about these plans is that they are indemnity benefits. They're both facility with home health care riders in this example, but the indemnity part is really important for you to know if you're new to selling short-term care. These plans are indemnity benefits that have a billed benefit that you get per day, regardless of any other care costs for that service that you're getting in any given day. More importantly, they're nice plans. We sell a lot when we get into plan design, talk about selling first day coverage across the board. And again, I can't stress it enough. If you really want to help your clients, look closely at that. The premium savings isn't that much to go to a 20-day, and certainly don't go to a 60 or 90-day elimination if you can help it. Most of these plans should be sold with very, very low elimination period or no elimination. The reason I say that is, what a nice protection for my prospects and clients to tell them that, hey, if I get a plan like this in place, whichever I get in place, if Medicare pays for it or some other health insurance pays for it, no problem, this will still pay. And it gives you that extra added security of saying you can have your cake and eat it too. It'll pay for it regardless. And if Medicare plays games with you, or if it does, for some reason doesn't pay, you're going to have the indemnity benefit there for you as well. So nice to know you have the indemnity security there. And I won't get into observation status versus inpatient. When you get into Medicare, that's a whole other discussion, but it's another great reason to have these type of policies, and another great reason to have first day coverage if you can design a plan that works for them, okay? When I get into facility benefits, because the base plan is facility, remember two-tiered underwriting for OmniFlex. Remember, we have full product training on OmniFlex that'll explain that deeper. But you can go from $50 to $100 for limited. That throws an underwriting net terrifically wide, so you can have up to $3,000 per month still for facility. But if you answer the other questions on there, you can go all the way up to $400 per day. So that's a really nice thing about the flexibility of OmniFlex. And 90% plus of the people you meet will be able to get through that second tier as well. Okay. With Cigna Choice, they have what's called the Choice 100, Choice 200, or Choice 300 plans. Easy to remember, it's $100, $200, or $300 depending on which you choose. So very simple. And I'll talk later about the fact we have inflation available with these plans. Okay. Facility benefit periods. A little bit of flexibility here, even though we sell the vast majority at $360. We have some options with Cigna, same thing, $180 or $360. If you want to scale down a real nice little affordable plan, they have the ability to go down to a half a year. but most of the plans they sell at Cigna, I believe, too, will be 360. Okay, because that's what people are looking at as alternatives to long-term care. It's nice to have a pretty robust plan. But again, flexibility brings affordability, so you can scale these down if you need to. Excuse me. All right, elimination period, same deal here. First day, I really recommend. I already got on my soapbox for that, but we do have 20, 60, or 90 available with OmniFlex, and we have available 0 or 20 days with Cigna. Okay, so again, most of the time, they just realize for short-term care, you don't want to be selling 60 or 90 if you can help it, so they don't even give you the option. They make it very simple with Cigna, which I like. Okay. Facility bed reservation, 10 days with a maximum of 20. This is if you're in a facility and you got to go to the hospital. You want to make sure you keep your bed. So usually most policies are 10 days, max 20. Cigna is very strong here. They have up to 20 days. So if you had 20 days on one stay, you could get all 20 covered. And you can do that each time if you happen to be in a facility and you have to go to a hospital. If it happens multiple times, it'll pay multiple times. So nice strong benefit there from Cigna as well. And the built-in restoration. This is why these plans are so strong. You hear me on my other webinars talk a lot about the fact that you want to have multiple restorations, but most importantly, at least one. And with this one, you can have facility and home care multiple times, up to 2 times the maximum days. So if I had a 360-day plan, it would keep restoring on some of those smaller claims you come across. It'll spit those days back in multiple times until you get back up to a full 360 additional days, so 720 days potentially. Makes sense? Same thing here with the 2 times, but with Cigna, they did limit that to say it's going to restore 1 time. Both the facility and the home care would restore, but it'll only do it 1 time after the first claim. Okay, so not a huge difference there, but it is nice to have multiple times. Again, just showing the differences there. And when you get into the home health care rider, most of your people are going to get a home health care rider. And with that home health care rider for the OmniFlex limited plan, which throws the underwriting net super wide up to $100 with the full up to $300 in $10 increments for home care. And with Cigna, they have basically the built-in plan. When I said the choice 100, 200, 300, remember that? That was $100, $200, or $300 for a facility. The default of this plan is at 50% for home care. So if you had a $100 plan, it'd pay $50. If you had 200, it'd pay 100. If you had 300, it'd pay 150, right? But with their home health care boost, I have that written right here for you to see later. With the home health care boost, you can bump up the home care to 100% of the facility. And it's a real common one. It's not too expensive. Most of the time, we sell these to stay out of the facility. So to be frank, I'm going to teach most of my agents to look closely and almost always put 100% of the home care, just for the fact that unless you're really pushing somebody who wants facility only and light home care, most of the time you want to bump up the home care. So that's just my personal flavor on that one. So default to 50%, but use that home care booster rider. Okay. Benefit period, same deal here. They made it simple at Cigna and said most of the time you're going to sell 180 or 360 again. So same concept there. Most of the time we'll be selling 360s, but same thing with the facility or the home care coverage here for OmniFlex, 90, 180, 270, or 360. Vast majority being sold at 360. And the home health care elimination period, same concept. 0 days is where it's at. 0 days for home care. They do offer a 20-day option for Cigna. But most of the time I would push for 0 at home. I think 95% plus of our policies we're selling now are 0-day coverage or 0-day elimination for home care. Okay, but you do have the option to spread it out if you want. Restoration, just to remind you again that restoration is available on home care as well as on the facility. Okay, so 1 time or multiple times. Hospital indemnity rider, this is something that OmniFlex has. When we did our Aetna, we just left the screen in here because Aetna had that as well. But we do have a $50 to $100 for the limited, or $50 to $300 for home health, or for hospital indemnity, excuse me. And we have 3, 6, or 20 days available with OmniFlex. With Cigna, we don't have that available, right? They just don't have the hospital indemnity rider. They have a separate plan. Okay. Spousal premium discounts, yes, 100% or 10%, not 100%, sorry, 10% discount if both are insured. And over here, it's 15% if 2 insured for Cigna. So really strong. One caveat I didn't put on this slide that I probably should have is with the OmniFlex, it's 10% if they both get a policy and they both apply. They don't have to be the same policy for mom and dad. You could mix it up and give mom a lighter plan or a deeper plan if you wanted to. With Cigna, I might change this slide before we send out the handout if I remember. Lynn, make a note of that if you want to. We might put a footnote down here to say 15%, but you do have to have identical policies. Most of the time you do. With married couples, you're going to set up the same policy either way. But if you don't do that, you don't get the 15% discount with Cigna. It has to be identical policies. Okay? Just want to give you lip service there to make sure you remember that. Optional inflation protection with the OmniFlex Limited, it's not available to protect the company. But with the full underwriting, it is available as a 5% simple 2 times max. And with the Cigna, it's 5% simple, no max. So nice, strong inflation here. That's one of the pluses with Cigna, to be frank with this, is that if you do put the 5% simple and you sell it to a younger person, that product will keep growing at 5% simple indefinitely until they go on claim. So nice to have that opportunity if you'd like to have a little bit more robust plan. Okay. So that's, again, side by side at the first thing. I got to click here. This is that 90-day certification that I talked about a little bit earlier. I put this slide in just because almost every webinar I give now, I want to make sure you guys remember it, especially some of you are out in the long-term care trenches. Don't forget the power of short-term care, and the reason this is changing the industry is long-term care. Remember, to go on claim, you need a cognitive impairment or you need a doctor to certify that you're going to need help with 2 of 6 activities of daily living for at least 90 days. With these short-term care plans, you don't need that 90-day certification. So with short-term care plans and home health care only plans, things like knee replacements, broken bones, cardiac arrest, bypass surgery, heart valve replacement, hip replacement, a motor vehicle accident, or some major surgery, that you're going to get better within 90 days. So long-term care runs for the hills, right? They say, well, sorry, we won't pay a claim for that. These policies do. And again, I can't stress enough the importance of that, because with these policies, you get that restoration of benefits in there. And basically, people a lot of times will be in denial where they won't think they can see themselves in a nursing home or needing a longer traumatic care type situation. But a lot of people, and almost everybody you're looking across the table from or through the internet at, you're going to be able to say, hey, could you see yourself at some point that you or your wife is going to need a knee replacement or have a surgery or an auto accident or something where you break a bone or fall and hurt yourself? Most people can see that happening. And remember, with indemnity benefits, regardless of whether other insurance pays, this can be a really nice thing for your clients to say, hey, talk about a premium justifier. You can think of $300 per day for 6 days only. If I get $300 for 6 days, that's $1,800. That might be more than my annual premium for that year. That's a really nice option. And then after I'm healthy again for 180 days, it'll spit those days right back into my policy. And with OmniFlex, it'll do it multiple times, right? So now I could have several of these things happen to me, and it'll keep restoring my benefits until to have it there in case I need it for a rainy day. If I need one of those longer claims, then it can be a lifesaver. So that's why I say you can have your cake and eat it too with these plans. Next one on there is just to remind you the short-term care name. We use extended care a lot for a reason. This is more for future reference, but I just want to remind you, look at this plan without inflation. I can have $252,000 for OmniFlex, for example, and with restoration, $504,000 as a policy potential. That's without inflation. If I add on this simple inflation 2 times max, now I can get up to $24,000 a month, $18,000 a month at home, $24,000 in facility, and I can get $500,000 plus on one claim potentially. That's pretty strong. And of course, when you restore that, not everybody's going to restore the full amount, of course, but you can get up to $1 million as protection potential in that plan. So really strong. I just put this in there to remind you, you don't have to sell these full-blown plans, but look at that, $252,000 potentially for one claim, $504,000 for one claim with inflation. That's pretty strong. That's stronger than most long-term care plans we sell. So we use extended care a lot, and then it's time, once we sell the policy, we remind people, now remember, if you get something that says short-term care in an email or something, don't panic. It's the same powerful plan I designed for you. Is that fair? So let's look again at cash benefits. This is really strong with both these carriers. Cigna, of course, has that A rating and it's got great name recognition. We love that about Cigna. And they were smart enough to say, it's nice to have the opportunity to pay family member and friends, okay? We know that's a big issue in this industry. So Cigna builds in what's called a care transition benefit into their plan. This is right out of the outline. And basically it says sometimes when you're getting ready for your claim, family members step in to help you because it's a scary and confusing time. So this will pay full benefits for up to 10 days, full home care benefits for up to 10 days. And you don't have to go through a home health care agency. It can be to anybody, like an immediate family member, a friend, or anybody that you want to have that care. It's basically a cash benefit, okay? It does count towards the days in the plan, but it's really nice to know it's there. Full benefits for 10 days, okay? OmniFlex goes a step further. We're the only plan out there with Manhattan Life to have first day benefits for family members and friends paid for the full amount of the care if you need it for 360 days if you sold a year-long plan. But with this one, we call it the Fast 50 because it's paid at 50% of whatever your benefit is at that point of claim. So if I'm sitting out there with a $300 benefit for home care at the time of claim, it's at $300. I can say my daughter's going to take time off work and she's going to help me. It'll pay $150 per day for however long you want to stay with the cash benefit. You can switch back and forth. You don't have to get locked in. If care gets more expensive and you want to switch over to a home health care agency, more power to you. You can switch back and forth. Very, very powerful. The reason for that, again, most of you have seen this slide if you've been on my other ones, but we know we're in America. The reason this is coming to a head in the year 2030 is most Americans are getting caught with their pants down. They don't have protection. So a huge majority of people are out there relying totally on volunteer caregivers. They don't have any they don't have any protection in place, right? But even if they have paid caregivers, look at this stat. The vast majority is home health aide. We know that. CNAs, certified nursing assistants, number 2. But number 3 on the list for paid caregivers is family and friends. So we know how nice it is to have that care transition benefit I told you about or have that Fast 50. Don't lessen the idea of how important that is. So I have OmniFlex down here just for the fact that we do pay for the 360 or the full benefit period, family and friends, and it's a huge peace of mind at the time of sale, okay? Prescription drug benefit, again, we have to bring it up because it is a difference. We're the only short-term care plan out there with the Manhattan Life product that has prescription drug reimbursement, like those home health care only plans we know and love so much. Remember, the average 65-year-old, if you're in the Medicare market, the average 65-year-old has 27 plus prescriptions or refills a year. So most people you talk to will end up getting the full $300 back on this prescription drug. You don't have to be on regular claim. You can get it from day one after your plan goes in place. And again, it doesn't take a shoebox full of meds. 3 brand name meds refilled quarterly is $300, right? $25 times the 3 different meds times 4 different times you get them refilled. So it doesn't take much. It's a great net premium reducer, and it really does help at the time of sale, okay? 5-year ramp up, this is just something we make sure we're not trying to pull a secret on you. It's the secret sauce to OmniFlex. Remember the way this plan works. Go to the full product training, but if I sold you a $400 per day facility benefit, if you went on claim day 1, it's going to start at 50% of that, so it's going to pay $200. Then it's going to go up in equal increments till the 5th policy anniversary. It'll hit the full amount that you sold. Okay? What is this for? It's the reason we can have cash for family members. It's the reason we can have very affordable premiums. And most important, it's the reason we can have loose underwriting because of the fact that we know we have some adverse selection that people will stay away from it if they know they're going to go on claim in the first year or 2. Most of the policies we sell, people don't go on claim for 5 or 10 years. So don't worry about it. Don't be afraid to tell your clients about it. As a matter of fact, use it for what it's for. It'll help you close sales because you can tell clients, hey, we found out you've qualified for OmniFlex and it's a really strong plan. It's very affordable. Let's start it today. Even if you're on the fence, I want to make sure if it's affordable, let's get it started so we get that ramp up out of the way. So if you do, God forbid, need to go on claim in 3 or 4 years, we built that plan up as much as possible because we want to start that ramp up now, okay? If you don't have inflation, it levels off after the 5th anniversary. If you have a full-blown plan and you put simple inflation on there, it'll go up until it doubles in the 25th year. So very easy. This is in all the illustrations and it's right in the brochure, okay? Manhattan Life, if you look at the quick monthly rates, this is more just so you feel comfortable. We want to let you know we have it out there. For all of our home care plans and for some of the short-term care plans, we have these cheat sheets. And this is not to share with your client as much as you just knowing, if I'm talking to a 65-year-old, for example, in one of these states, I know that I can offer them this plan for about this amount. And these plans are super flexible, so you can do any different option you want, or 100 different options like this. But I just wanted to give you an idea because some agents are afraid to bring up the conversation because they're afraid somebody will say, about how much is it? And in this case, I can say, hey, with that $300 reimbursement for OmniFlex, we found out you can get approved for it. That's another $25 off these. So if I have a married couple, I can say, hey, for about $1 a day, I can get you a really strong plan that's up to $3,000 a month. And I can go anywhere up there and design a more robust plan. So I'm going to make it affordable, and I'm going to make sure I get something that'll work for you. Okay, so the $300 reimbursement is not included in these rates. Make sense? Cigna has some base rates like this. You know, basically, this is from their presentation. And if you look close, this is for a 180-day benefit with 0-day elimination. So I don't know how often you're going to sell those, but this is just a bird's eye view. And instead of going here, I think the next slide shows the Care Booster Rider. So for a 180-day plan with first day coverage, you can see for a 65-year-old, it's only another 11 or 12 bucks to get that Choice 100 up to $100 home care, not $50. So I highly recommend doing that. And same thing with inflation, very affordable. So the reason I pop out at this point is that they have a full rate sheet. We'll have all this available for you. There's the application, and I'm going to try to find a rate sheet. Here's a rate sheet for most of their states. There might be different states availability, so make sure you're looking at the right rate sheet. But you can get this right off their site, or you can get it from us. And this will show from ages 18 to 50. That's why I like this. It goes down to 18, but they didn't have to go nuts on the actuaries. It's just there if it's needed. It's the same premium for 18 to 50, and even above that for some of these plans. But you can see here for 65-year-olds, that's where they got that $39.02 for a $100 plan for 180 days. So these rate sheets are available. You can look at those. I'm going to show you a couple side-by-side StratDecision quotes today as well. I'm going to try to jump back into this policy, so you're going to do this chewing gum at the same time. That's what these are. They're starting to show you some of the rate quotes. So I'm going to go right over here and show you some of these rates side by side. I'm just going to spend a few minutes for you. Most of you will want to play with this. And if you get into our actual site, I got to go here. Give me a second. If you go into our StratDecision tool, you're going to see, I'm going to see if we can get it here. Once I've been in a webinar, sometimes it slows down. Okay, so if I click on LTC short-term care, you have access to this, by the way, through us. It's a $500 a year about licensing fee, but it's free for our agents. So go into it. You'll need a password the first time, so don't wait till the last minute. Go in and get set up on our website and look for StratDecision tool. Then when you log in the first time, you'll get access to this, and it only takes like less than 24 hours usually to get your key. All I want to show you here, I'm not going to bore you and go through a whole quote with you, but I want to show you that when you type in your agent name, that's all you need. You can put in your other information if you want. Go down to this area and click in LTC and click on short-term care, okay? Then after that, it's going to ask you for a client's name and their birth date and their state and whether they have a spouse. And then when I'm going to do that just to show you that how nice this is, because some of you don't know this is out there. Joe Prospect, I'm just going to cheat and put a 65-year-old. You can put in their birth date. Put in any state you want. If I go Arizona, I can skip the spouse. I can put in spousal information if I want, but just to make it easy, click on next, and you'll see all the different short-term care. Here's that Cigna plan that we're talking about. There's the short-term care. And if you want to do Manhattan Life OmniFlex that we talked about today, it's there. And if you want to do these other home health care only plans or the Aetna full short-term care plan, that's in there as well. And so is GTL, both on the home care and the short-term care. So I'm not going to go through and teach you how to use that today, but I will go over and show you just for a comparison. Again, you can do side-by-side comparisons. I'm not huge into spreadsheeting for my clients. I want to go in and show them that I've done the due diligence myself. I might go in and play around with StratDecision and find out which I think is a better deal for a client at a given age. And then I'll just present what I think is smarter. But if you need to, you could do side-by-sides for your client as well if you wanted to. So in this case, I used a 62-year-old in Illinois. This is something my staff put together, so it's a little bit like Christmas for me as well. But here's $300 facility for a full year, $108,000 for that one claim. Elimination period, first day coverage across the board. Home health care, $300 per day for both plans, Manhattan and Cigna on my left. Maximum home care, $108,000, right? First day coverage for home. So good solid plans. Restoration is built in. And then these are monthly modal factors. They did do the home care boost here, so we bumped our home care. That's why it says $300 on the plan. This is called their Choice 300 plan. $300 facility defaults to 150 home care, but with the home health care boost, it goes up to $300 per day. And then you can see the premium for this single couple would be, or single person would be $193.57. And for over here with OmniFlex, it's $135.41. It does go in and show you the $300 prescription drug in here and the cash benefit. They don't have the, StratDecision didn't put in the 10-day home care payment for family and friends. That's part of the plan, but it's not laid out here. So remember, that's there, okay? So you can see there's one choice. Here's StratDecision showing $200 per day, 20-day elimination just to show you different plan options. $200, so they use the home care boost again. And I can send these along maybe with my team, Lynn, if you're listening, or somebody on my team. When we send out the recording, maybe we can send these StratDecisions if we want to. Again, $116 for the Cigna or $79 for the OmniFlex. So these are just some apples to apples choices on here. I put together a couple. This is a 65-year-old for a Georgia person, and I put together a $300 per day. I don't think I put inflation on this one. I wanted to show you the married rates because there's a 15% nice discount for Cigna as long as they're identical plans, which they are. You get a 15% discount. So you can see in this case with Cigna over here on the left-hand side, it's 128 plus 208, so 337. With OmniFlex, it's 73 and 160 or 233. So OmniFlex is a strong product. Any way you slice it, it compares pretty well with folks once you get down to the ramp up, especially. So I don't think I have to spend any more time on this. I will give one caveat that this is a newer plan out there, so we're using StratDecision in this case. We are checking to make sure all those rates are correct and everything, so I want to have a caveat that if for some reason StratDecision, obviously it sometimes will have some little tweaks that they need to do with any new product. So as of now, we think these rates are right, but if they're not, we'll make sure we get them corrected at StratDecision's level. And that being said, I'll tell you what, I could go on and talk all day about different product design, etc., but first I got to figure out how to get back to my product. Again, I'm going to go back to the slideshow, current slide. Be on the lookout for the next webinar that we have. We have these wow words of wisdom. I put that bar pretty low because it's me giving them, but hopefully you know that there's some value in that. We've had good attendance on these wow webinars so far. I invite in special guests. I had Dennis Reiner on one of them. Sometimes I may invite other guests, but this next one I'm doing, because I went long on it, I probably am going to have it. I know for sure it'll be on July 18th at 10 a.m. It probably is going to go through and show you how to do plan design, talk a little bit deeper on plan design and how to go out and physically do it and how easy it is to do it on the different websites. And we also might talk a little bit about the short-term care industry and some of the new things going on out there. We know some companies are making some changes. Some companies are teasing the idea of coming out with new plans, and some companies are going to upgrade their plans. So be on the lookout for that webinar. I'll keep you as informed as I can be, because By attrition, I've had to be a master of some of these plans, and I do know this industry pretty well now and what the different companies are doing. So I'm glad to share that knowledge with you so you can do the most important thing, which is help more people. That being said, I tell you what, I won't do a dog and pony at the end here. Make sure you look for the upcoming webinars and any of the webinars we're doing with my team members. We've got some great training available, as you know. Check out the website so you can see all the different tools that are available, including StratDecision. And most importantly, if you're for some reason not appointed yet, make sure you get appointed. Catch us at goldencareagent.com or our phone number 800-842-7799. And no matter what you do, I'm passionate about this, so I'm going to give my last pitch. He probably has music going on in the background on the recording of this, but I want to tell you, don't not have a conversation with people. You'll be surprised at how many people will lean in, but I can't stress enough, we have a lot of problems in America with folks not planning ahead, and it's going to get uglier in the years to come. So the more people you can help, you're going to be on a lot of people's Christmas card list, because you can really, really help your clients out if you take the time just to go out of your comfort zone a little bit, learn a couple new plans, and learn how easy it is to protect folks with these extended care products. So that being said, this is Tom Randall again. Thank you so much for spending time. Let me yap at you today, and we look forward to working closer with you in the future. Thanks, everybody.
GoldenCare is always here to serve you with new tools, new products, new ideas, and new innovations, and always the best support in the business to help you succeed. So give us a call at 800-842-7799 and check out our website at www.goldencareagent.com.